a footstool for me. Thank you. Wow, what a great crowd. Everybody's involved in tourism these days. I'm so looking forward to this season. We're hopefully successful at attracting high numbers of tourists from all countries, including Canada, to the state of Maine because we want them here. They are our partner. Over decades, if not centuries, our partner. We are so intertwined with their economy and they with ours. So today we celebrate the innovation and adaptability and resilience of the tourism industry in Maine, all of which have allowed us to always welcome visitors from around the world. We want to tell every one of them, say to every one of them, welcome home. You're safe here. You're welcome here. I don't have to tell you that these past few years have brought historic challenges to the tourism industry here in Maine and to our economy. When the global pandemic closed international borders and made consumers wary of where they ate, how they traveled, which hotel or B&B they stayed in, which restaurant they ate in, you worked hard to protect and elevate Maine's reputation as a safe, healthy destination. Hospitality Maine, for instance, worked with the Maine Community College System and others to create a restaurant readiness and lodging foundations program. That program at the community colleges trained thousands of workers on how to keep themselves and their customers, their clients, our visitors, safe. And thanks to that hard work, people did flock to the state of Maine and fell in love with everything that makes our state so special. From our mountains, where you can hike to see the sunrise, to our lakes and streams, which are always great for fishing, to our iconic rocky coastline with views unlike anywhere else in the world, and our sandy beaches and rocky coast, our islands just waiting to be explored, thousands of them. Tourists, visitors felt safe coming here, and Maine families had staycations enjoying everything that this state has to offer. And all of that contributed millions to our economy and to our state's robust recovery from the pandemic. Thank you for participating and surviving and excelling in developing a robust economy during some of the toughest times of the pandemic. In fact, though, over the past 6 years, Maine has experienced more economic growth than it did the entire 14 years before I took office. But, yeah. The number of people working in Maine right now is at an all-time high. We have the highest rate of in-migration in New England, and our population has now grown to over 1.4 million people. Our tourism industry is a major contributor to our economic growth. Last year, nearly 15 million people visited our state, and they spent more than $9 billion. That spending supported businesses that employ nearly 116,000 people here in Maine. To put it another way, for every 128 tourists support a job, a full-time job in Maine. Nearly 800,000, or 5% of our visitors last year, were from Canada. And those Canadian visitors spent nearly $500 million here in Maine. So, on the eve of another summer tourism season, we're once again facing a great economic uncertainty. And this time, the uncertainty is not being driven by a pandemic, but by harmful rhetoric and painful tariffs from imposed by the federal government, the current occupant of the White House. Tariffs on aluminum, steel, fertilizer, grain, coffee, construction materials, blueberries, lobster, jet fuel, all of these things which the Wall Street Journal editorial writers have called a large revenue heist on the part of the administration in Washington. As a result of these tariffs, threatened tariffs, rescinded tariffs, proposed tariffs, imposed tariffs. Our Canadian neighbors now say they feel unwelcome in our country, and they are uncertain about even visiting our state. We can't let that happen. Numbers bear this out. The number of Canadians returning from visits in the United States to the United States by land plunged by nearly 32% year over year in March. Air arrivals fell by nearly 14% March this year, below March last year. What does this mean for Maine? We might have 225,000 fewer visitors from Canada this year. That's hundreds of thousands fewer people staying in our hotels, our B&Bs, fewer people making reservations at restaurants, shopping in our small businesses, buying souvenirs and products that we retail here in Maine. I've heard some say, well, we could make up the difference by attracting more visitors from America, other states. But it's important to remember, other states will be competing for those visitors too. I've heard some people say that, well, having fewer tourists will free up space for Maine people to have staycations. What do you think about that question? It's important to remember that the survival of many small businesses in our hospitality industry depend on overnight visitors, not just day trippers here, who stay longer and spend more, contributing to our economy. I've been speaking to some of the Atlantic province premiers in Canada to reassure them that Maine will welcome their residents, to have a world-class experience here, and that we won't ignore them either, that we'll visit their provinces as we always have as well. We share a 600-mile boundary with Canada. Maine and Canada have a cherished relationship, founded not only on mutual financial or economic advantage, but on centuries-old familial and cultural bonds that have always superseded politics. I am committed to working with Canadian leaders to preserve cross-border travel, encourage tourism in our respective jurisdictions, and promote each other's economic advantages and amenities. I am also considering a road trip myself to the Atlantic provinces this summer, and I encourage Maine people to go back and forth and take their families to New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, etc. Enjoy their amenities too, but encourage them to come back. Encourage Canadian people to come here. We need them, and we enjoy them. In addition to these new challenges, Maine tourism industry faces other issues. A shortage of workers, for instance. As Economic Development Commissioner Mike Duguay said, we are addressing that long-term, long-standing problem by investing in quality job training programs in the hospitality industry. We want to do everything we can to help with this problem. In my Part 2 budget proposal, sitting in the Appropriations Committee, I've called on the legislature to keep funding our free community college program, for instance, and encourage people to stay and work in Maine and develop careers in the hospitality industry. Last fall, more than 21,000 students enrolled in the community college system under this program, and they're now in the pipeline to become employees in Maine. I hope that you join me in encouraging lawmakers to fund this critical workforce program ongoing. The past 5 years have brought new challenges to the tourism industry, but you have my word that we will work with you to overcome these challenges. We will promote the things that set Maine apart from any other destination in the world. Our dark skies at night with no light pollution, perfect for stargazing. Our shops, our shelves full of Maine-made products and a friendly face at the front door. Your hotels and B&Bs with pristine rooms that offer families a home away from home. Your restaurants with award-winning food and drinks that tempt people to stay a little bit longer than they ever intended. your outdoor recreation businesses, which make our beautiful mountains, rivers, and trails easy and enjoyable to explore. You are all great ambassadors for our state. You are the people who make Maine vacation land. So I want to thank you for the important work you do to welcome people to our state. Your preservation too. Your perseverance, hopefulness, optimism, and hard work make me proud to be your governor. Thank you.